Hey guys, what's up? I'm back and here is my review of the 2018 Royal Rumble. I haven't been able to get this video up as quick as I wanted to. Like I said, I was working Sunday, so obviously didn't watch the event live. I had busy stuff on Monday. Did the new belt video. I watched TakeOver. Recorded the video for that. I've finished watching the Royal Rumble. I watched TakeOver in between watching the Rumble. Probably should have watched the Rumble first, but never mind. It is what it is, but I've watched it, and so here is my review of the Royal Rumble 2018. I managed to stay away from social media like straight after the event to avoid any sort of results, and I managed to do quite well. I was quite impressed with myself. So without further ado, we'll get on with the match card, and I'll give you my just my opinions on it. So the opening match was Zayn and Owens or Cammy versus AJ Styles. Now it seemed a bit weird to me that this match would start the event, given that there were other matches that weren't as important that could have and probably should have started it first. Whether or not it should have been the first match, it was a hell of a match. I obviously, as you can see by the side plates and my hat, was well happy that AJ Styles retained. But the controversy at the end of the match, the fact that Sami Zayn didn't tag Kevin Owens, etc., does leave it open for some sort of possible rematch. The thing I noticed afterwards was that Kevin Owens said that it cost him the title. So obviously we all know Kevin Owens' history. He's going to turn on Sami Zayn at some point. It's inevitable. So whether he'll petition for a single shot at AJ, we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I do think the backstage bit with Shane and Owens and Sami complaining to him and him just going yep and walking away was quite comical. The next matchup was Benjamin and Gable versus the Usos in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. This should have been the opening match in my opinion. Given the fact that I'd read that one of the Usos, I can't remember which one it is, had been done for a DUI, I was expecting Gable and Benjamin to take the titles, as a punishment to the Usos. That was wrong, and I was glad. It wasn't a brilliant match. It wasn't terrible, but it took ages before one fall, and then the second fall seemed to come pretty quick after. It was like they built it up and then sort of rushed the ending. It wasn't the worst match I've ever seen on a WWE pay-per-view, but it definitely wasn't what I'd hoped, and I think what majority of fans had hoped for. But yeah, I was glad to see the Usos retain. I think Gable and Benjamin, even though I think they were supposed to be face tag team to the Usos heel, have actually turned themselves heel and put the Usos, the crowd have put Usos as faces. But on a side note, I've never liked Shelton Benjamin. I never liked him in his initial WWE run. I never liked him when he was in Ring of Honor. I've never seen anything more gratifying than Jay Briscoe beating the shite out of Shelton Benjamin. So yeah, I was happy the Usos retained. Hopefully that'll be Gable and Benjamin out of the title picture now, and we'll see what happens. Next up came the 30-man Rumble. I expected the women's to be first, but then I suppose it kind of made sense with it being the first ever women's Rumble that they put that second. But I thoroughly enjoyed the Rumble. It was nice to see the Hurricane for it, even though he only lasted a short while. Mysterio was an absolute shocker to me. I couldn't believe it when Rey Mysterio came out, because I know he's under contract to he's wrestling for a few other companies. He's wrestling for 5 Star Wrestling, because they're doing a show near me in Leeds, which fingers crossed I might get to go and see. But yeah, I didn't expect him out. Finn Balor lasting as long as he did was great. Dolph Ziggler coming back, that was another surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Although it obviously shows that the whole I'm done with wrestling thing was obviously a load of rubbish. So whether he'll come back and try and reclaim the United States title from Bobby Roode, I don't know. The one bit that did annoy me was after Reigns and Rollins had eliminated The Miz, and that didn't annoy me. Anytime The Miz gets dropped on his head is amazing. But once Rollins and Reigns had done the powerbomb on The Miz, onto the Miztourage, Reigns then grabbed Rollins and threw him out. Rollins just looked up at Reigns, and Reigns sort of shrugged his shoulders, looked at him as if to say, it's what you would have done. And Rollins just grinned, and it's like, no, that's a bit crap. He almost gave I'm not bothered, I'm not going to WrestleMania, and that's not Seth Rollins. He had this belt for a while, and for it then to sort of do it like he's not bothered about it just seemed a bit off, a bit shit to me. Pardon my French. I didn't see Nakamura winning it. I don't know if you can see the t-shirt, obviously. That's why I put this t-shirt on for the video. I didn't expect that. When it came down to Balor, Nakamura, Reigns and Cena, I expected it to go down to Reigns and Cena. And then if I'm honest, I expected Roman Reigns to win it, so that he could go on to WrestleMania, face Brock Lesnar, dethrone him. Lesnar can toddle off back to UFC and do his thing, and Reigns will be Universal Champion. But yeah, Nakamura winning it, absolute shock. Didn't see it coming, like I said, but I can't wait to see Nakamura and Styles at WrestleMania. They had a great match for the Intercontinental title in New Japan, the IWGP Intercontinental title. That was AJ Styles' last match in New Japan. So I mean, I expect those two to fully tear it up at Mania. I'm predicting now there's going to be match of the night. A lot of people reckon it was the best Rumble ever. I wouldn't go that far. There have been some brilliant ones in years gone by, but that's definitely been probably the best one for a long time. Where the winner wasn't so obvious like before, when Batista won it and got booed out of the arena. Then everybody was chanting for Rollins, and the year after Reigns did win it, and then the crowd were booing because obviously a year's gone by, and wrestling fans, like I've always said, are very fickle. I didn't see Nakamura winning it, but it's fresh, it's something new, and that can only be a good thing. After that, the next matchup was Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. I didn't agree with the champions coming out first. I'm a firm believer, and I think I've said it before in videos, that the champion or champions should always be the last ones out. I'll be honest, I don't really know what to say about this match. I wasn't blown away. The only thing I can assume is with the amount of time that Jason Jordan spent at ringside, selling the injury by being thrown into the corner of the ring, is that it's going to be building towards something between Rollins and Jordan, and maybe a heel turn for Jason Jordan, which wouldn't be too hard given the fact that the crowd seem to absolutely despise him. But yeah, I honestly don't know what to say about the match. The Bar won. I don't mind that at all. I have no issues with the Bar being tag team champions. I quite like them. I mean, I'm a Cesaro fan. I like Sheamus. I think they've done really well to make that team work together. They've really got the crowd behind them, and they are good together as a team. So yeah, I have absolutely no issues with the Bar being tag team champions again. Congratulations to those. Up next, the triple threat for the Universal title: Braun Strowman versus Kane versus Brock Lesnar. Now, in the pre-match bump that was going on, they said that Lesnar is the longest reigning current champion. Now, to me, that doesn't mean shit. The guy's hardly there, rarely defends the title, so yeah, he's bound to be the longest reigning Universal Champion there's ever been. If you're on this scheduled to appear at 4 matches a year, and then maybe do another 3 or 4 TV appearances before that, you're going to sit at home, while your bank balance is building up for doing nothing. That annoys me. I have nothing against Brock Lesnar, but I just wish he was a bit more full time. To justify him being champion, to me, it just doesn't make sense sticking the belt on a part timer. It's like when The Rock beat CM Punk. That pissed me off because Punk was there week in, week out, and The Rock beat him for the belt. And what happened then? He tooled off, came back a couple of times, and then he dropped the belt to Cena. So yeah, I mean that's bollocks. That Lesnar's the longest reigning current champion, and like I say, doesn't mean anything. The guy's hardly ever on TV, and he hardly ever defends the title. So goes without saying, doesn't it? Yeah, sticking with that point for a second. At least while Kevin Owens had the Universal title, we saw saw the title on TV every week, and he regularly defended it. You know, pay-per-views. I think he even did it a couple of times on Raw. So yeah, at least the belt was defended there. So yeah, my opinion, Strowman should have walked out of that match as champion. Destroyed anything and everything. There was an incident in the match. I'm pretty sure anybody who's seen it noticed that Strowman sort of seemed to knee Lesnar in the head. Lesnar got up, lined up a punch, and punched Braun Strowman in the side of the head. Now, to me, yes, Strowman may have, ballsed up that bit, but for Lesnar, who is a legitimate fighter, who has been a UFC, heavyweight champion, who knows how to throw a punch, for him to then punch Braun Strowman in the temple is wrong. You should never ever, try and take things into your own hands. That's just wrong in my opinion, and I think Lesnar was bang out of order for that. He should have just basically maybe grabbed hold of him and told him, look, just watch what you're doing, calm down, But no, he decided to throw a punch straight into Strowman's temple, which is irresponsible and it's reckless. And I'm sorry, but that has no place in professional wrestling. But yeah, I thought Strowman was a walkout champion, and I think he should have, because then again we'd see the belt on TV every week. He'd have no qualms defending it. Blah blah blah. I never saw Kane as a legitimate, threat to the Lesnar. I never saw him walking out champion. I don't even know why Kane was in the match. I think they just did it to spice it up. Put three big guys in. Because why not? It makes it look like more of a challenge to Lesnar. Lesnar pinning Kane was obvious. I could see that coming. I knew Strowman wasn't going to get pinned. I knew it would be Kane that would get pinned by either one of them. I was actually hoping it's Strowman. I'm not a massive fan of Braun Strowman, but he's starting to impress me with the stuff he's done, and he's becoming a legitimate monster. And the stuff they've had him doing, it, tipping over ambulances, tipping over trucks, and everything. But yeah, I think Strowman needs to become champion. But I think what will happen is, come WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will be the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar. But yeah, I thought the ending to the match was a bit poor after so much great action in it. The way that it came, that Lesnar threw Kane into the side. Strowman got knocked off the side of the ring anyway. I can't remember exactly how. And then Lesnar F5'd Kane, or whatever he did to Kane, and pinned him. And walked out champion. And Strowman quite rightly got back in the ring and shouted, "You never beat me. You never pinned me." It's a little bit a legit point. But like I said, it is what it is. It's WWE, and that's what they do. And the last match of the night was the first ever Women's Rumble. There was a lot of hype built up to this, obviously quite rightly so, it being the first Women's Royal Rumble ever. I was looking forward to it. Had I have done a prediction video, I would have picked Asuka to win it. I've been telling all my friends I've been chatting to on Facebook that Asuka was my pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble. I think I picked Roman Reigns for the men's, because I just thought it was that predictable, so I don't mind being wrong on that. But yeah, Asuka was my pick from the start, and I was pretty sure that she'd win it. Obviously, the first two out? Becky Lynch, and I can't remember. My mind is so bad. My memory, sorry, so bad. But yeah, it started off, it was a good Rumble. There were some returning legends in it. Lita, it was great to see her. She did really well in it. Molly Holly, she looked like she'd never lost a beat. She did a Molly go around on Sasha Banks. Tori Wilson, she looked amazing. So did Kelly Kelly. What else was in it? Michelle McCool. She was in it. She did really well. Made a few eliminations. Jacqueline, which didn't really bother me. I was never really a fan of her, but yeah, it was a really, really good event. as I thought. Asuka won. I was really happy with that. And then when the two champions, Bliss and Charlotte, who were sat ringside, went into the ring to see who Asuka was going to pick, like they asked Nakamura when he'd won who he was going to face, he chose AJ Styles, which obviously the SmackDown star is going to pick the SmackDown champion. I'd have been very surprised if he'd have said Lesnar. So when Asuka went in, she had either champion stood either side of her, and cue a piece of music that I recognised, and I was like, that's Ronda Rousey's music. That's Ronda Rousey's UFC entrance music. Sure enough, Titantron flares up. Boom, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. I was sat in the house. My girlfriend and kids were in, and I legitimately lost my freaking mind. My girlfriend was like, "What the hell's up with you?" And I'm like, "It's Ronda Rousey. She's actually in." I knew she was going there, but I didn't expect to turn up when she did. She walked down to the ring, pointed at WrestleMania sign. Looked at Asuka, so I don't know whether she's going to face Asuka at Mania or whether she's going to face Charlotte. A lot of people are touting her to face Charlotte. Obviously, with Asuka being a Raw star, they reckon she's going to go after Alexa Bliss's title, so that frees up Charlotte Flair. So, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. It's been highly, tipped as a match. If it happens, I really hope Ronda Rousey wins. I am a massive Ronda Rousey fan. I've been on the Euroshop website. T-shirts in stock next month. I'm hoping to get one, depending on finances, etc. But I will at some point be getting a Ronda Rousey T-shirt. I am a fan of her. I loved her in UFC. She was the reason I got back into UFC, if I'm honest. So yeah, I can't wait to see her in WWE and see what she does and how she is. By all accounts, she's been training with Natalia Neidhart, so she's not the best not the worst person, sorry, to get trained by, because Nat is a great wrestler and she's got a great pedigree. So we'll have to see where this leads to. Overall, yeah, I thought Royal Rumble was a pretty good way to start the new year off. Like I say, I'm hoping to do a lot more pay-per-view reviews this year. Last year I kind of dropped off and I was a bit slack and everything. I apologise for that, but I will try and do as many as I can this year. Due to work and family commitments, etc., they may not be straight after the event, but I will get them up as close as damn it to the event. So yeah, I enjoyed the Rumble. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. Like I say, a great way to start 2018. Let's just hope WWE keep it up. I mean, they usually do. They're pretty good up until Mania. Then once they've done Mania, milked all the money from that. It's as if they don't give a shit after that. So we'll have to see what happens, whether they keep being consistent or whether the standards of pay-per-views do drop off. So that's going to round it up for me, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the Rumble. If you expected the winners, if you would have predicted them, what you thought of the matches, etc. Please feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please subscribe. I don't know where I'm going to go with that then. I kind of lost my momentum. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later on. I'd just like to give out a couple of shout outs. If I think on, and I apologise to the guys if I don't do it, I'll put the links for their pages in the video description at the bottom. I'd like to give a massive shout out and a too sweet to Breather35, who has a YouTube channel. He has some great videos on there, some brilliant videos. He's a wrestling fan. He's been great. I've been talking to him a lot lately, and he's got a great channel. He's a great guy. He does some brilliant videos, so go check him out. And a new channel that I've been watching the videos of so far is True Blue Knight. He's Australian and he's done some pretty cool videos so far. So I look forward to seeing what those two guys put out in the future. So yeah, that'll do it for me, guys. As always, I will see you next time.